Hello, everyone. How are you? It's been a while since we've posted anything. Everybody's been really busy, and I've been sick for, I don't know, for it just seems like one thing after another for a few months. Um, and Cheryl's busy doing her stuff with her plays, and she writes, and she has her own YouTube channel that she does, and Barbara has some stuff going on at home, and um, some other avenues that she's following as well. So I thought I would just jump on here since we haven't posted anything for a while and just talk a little bit about the spiritual awakening and what it means to be spiritually awake. Um, I think in a way it's just a terminology like anything else. You know, there's things that um, one religion or one set of beliefs from a different culture, they're the same as your spiritual beliefs and your culture. They just are explained differently and they're done differently, but it's all the same, to be honest with you. Um, so, a couple of things about spiritual awakening, and I made some notes, so I am going to read them. So, I hope you're okay with that. But one of the signs of being spiritually awakened is that you follow your intuition. Your intuition is that little still small voice, the Holy Ghost, whatever you want to call it. When it comes really fast, and it's just a knowing. Um, you listen to your inner guidance system and you follow its promptings. So that is one of the ways um, to become spiritually awakened is to follow your intuition. Um, another way of following or of spiritual awakening is you trust the universe or trust God, however you want to look at it, and that you have the faith that things will turn out the way they're supposed to. Um, you see the bigger picture of things, and you actually get to a point where you see the challenges in your life as being learning lessons. Um, and they're just part of your life. It's a part of all of our lives. We have to go through these things in order to learn and to grow. So, and the other thing is also is that um, these situations don't define who you are. And you realize these situations really don't define who you are. All those things that you were uh, led to believe, as in, oh no, I did something horribly wrong, and I'm going to have bad things happen to me because I did something horribly wrong. Well, that's not true. All it is a learning lesson for you. You learn your lesson, you understand it, and you move on. And there will be other challenges in that come up in your life that will do the same things over and over again. It's just a learning process. We were sent here to learn and to grow. I know in my life, have realized, I realized a long time ago um, that all of the challenges that I have faced in my life, they really were just um, learning. It helped me to learn who I was and to accept who I was and not to hold these things personal. Because even the challenges that come up into your own life, even though they're personal to you, they're not personal, if that makes any sense. They're just growing pains. Um, and even even as adults, we still go through that. There was a time not too long ago, it's only been a couple months, where um, I had a situation come up and I didn't really I knew I had issues in a certain area of my life. And it wasn't until I saw a situation changing in my life that it made me, and it's good. Honestly, it's a good situation, the way that my life is unfolding, but it caused me to what I would consider, and I know I've posted this before, what I would consider to be a tower moment. And if you know tarot cards at all, which are not of the devil, um, but they call them, there's a tower card, and they call them tower moments. A tower moment just brings up stuff, okay? Like the death card is just an ending of a part of your life, so you can grow from that and excel. So when I realized that, I had one foot in the past because it was bringing up old crap from years and years and years of conditioning. Um, and that old stuff, I was comparing it to my future. And so I got lost. I lost my presence, the present now moment that I was in. And so I really did have to dig deep and find ways to overcome that. Um, and it was very uncomfortable. And it was, I'm a feeler. So when I talk, I'm going to talk in feelings. I'm going to talk in no description, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, so it felt really heavy. It felt really goopy to me, like a thick black goop. And I was stuck. And it was horrible. Um, and I'm not going to go in right now. I'm not going to go into the details of how I came out of that. That's for another video. But just know that while you were spiritually awakening, these things will come up. Um, Life is kind of like a spiral, and you go throughout that spiral, and you have lessons come up, and you see those lessons, and you think that you're all clear and free and stuff, and then something will come up and go boom. Damn it, I thought I was done with this. I really thought I was done with this. But it's just life's way of helping you to grow and progress so that you can become spiritually awakened. Um, One of the other things that happens is that you will start seeing synchronicities. Some of the synchronicities that you might start seeing are the same numbers over and over and over again. And usually they start out with, you see 111 or 222 or 333, and you'll see them on your clock. And for some reason, you just know that that's a message for you somehow. And so you can look up angel numbers. So you can put in angel numbers 111 and look up the meaning for that. What I find fascinating is that everything in our life kind of has a scientific background, but it has a spiritual background that coincides with it. That was one of the other awakenings that I had, was that science and spirituality go hand in hand for me. So let's see. The other things, like I see hearts everywhere. When I'm going through a rough time, especially, the angels talk to me through the numbers. And you might even get to the point where you'll have a thought, and then for some reason you look at the clock and you'll see 1414, 214, 1414. And you just know that you have to look it up. And it's never ceases to amaze me that when I look up those numbers, they have the meaning of that number has something to do with what I was just questioning or what I was just thinking. And so that's pretty cool. You'll have ideas come up, And for some reason, you know that you have to follow through with that idea that you had. And it could be anything. Um, People will start coming out of the woodwork. People that are meant to be in your life will show up. Um, we all made the choice to come to this earth. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We all came here to learn and to grow. And especially in this age that we're in, the age of Aquarius, um, the age of Aquarius, Aquarius is the person that with the water jug that is I don't know how to explain it actually, but there are different ages. The Bible was written in a different age. Um, Other scriptures were written in different ages, but they were written in the age of the time um, that was specific for those people that were here on the earth, if that makes any sense. So you might start seeing patterns in certain constant repetition of things like the angel numbers or um, seeing the hearts everywhere. I know the first time I started seeing the hearts everywhere, I had a desire to see them. And so I was kind of testing the waters because my friends would say, "Oh, I see hearts everywhere." You guys are crazy. This stuff doesn't happen. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to test it out. Lo and behold, I started seeing hearts everywhere. And now I see hearts everywhere. I get hearts everywhere. Um, Sometimes they come as gifts from people. Sometimes I'll be sitting like the other day. I was in the shower and I just happened to look at the shower door, and there's like it was clear as a bell, a heart shape, and out of the water droplets, and they were just hearts, and there were like three of them. So you'll start noticing certain little things. It's magical. I love magical, and I think to me it's just magical. And you will start seeing different things appear in your life. And a lot of times, when it says to be childlike, it doesn't mean to be childish. It just means to be childlike. Remember when you were a kid and you looked up at the clouds and you're like, oh, look, that's an elephant, or oh, look, that's a turtle, or look at that bird. Um, and so I had lost that for a very, very long time. And I started noticing the clouds now. And a lot of times, just like with the angel numbers, the clouds will answer your, will answer your questions. Um, so you will start noticing those types of things as well. You will feel unconditional love for other people. Um, you start to love yourself, and it will start with yourself. I think sometimes we look at other people and we think, oh, I just love that person. I love this about this person. I love that about this person. But how often do you look in the mirror and go, ooh, I really like this about myself? I'm pretty cool, I and there's no ego involved. It's just, you know, um, so when you can look at yourself in the mirror and yeah, there's going to be things like maybe you don't like your nose, you know, maybe you got a little more poundage on you than you used to have and you don't really like that. But love yourself anyway. You're still you. Your physical body might look different, but you're still you. Um, so when you start learning how to have unconditional love for yourself, then you will be able to start loving other people unconditionally. Um, and you will see people in a different light. Um, my mom was a good example of that for me growing up. I remember her saying, "There's always something beautiful about everybody that you see, everybody that you meet." She said, "You know, it could be they have nice ears. They could be homely, but they could have like very nicely shaped ears, or they could have like beautiful eyebrows. You know, just little things like that." In fact, today I went to the grocery store and um, I came around the corner from the produce section, and there was this lady that had walked into the store, and I don't know, she was probably 10 feet away from me, and it just hit me. She was so beautiful. And before I even thought, I said, "Oh my gosh, you are pretty. You are beautiful." And she just looked at me, and her eyes just widened, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." She said, "You know, I was just thinking, holy cow, I didn't even look at myself in the mirror before I came to the grocery store. And I didn't even know if my hair was even combed, you know?" And so you just start seeing people like that. Um, and please tell those people when you see them, tell them, because it's going to make their day and it's going to make you feel better. So you'll start seeing people unconditionally, and being able to love them. And part of that is loving without an attachment. Um, and we'll get into that maybe later. But yes, you can love everybody and you can love people without an attachment. You know, do your own thing, let other people do their own thing, but love them anyway. Everybody is on their own journey, doing their own thing. So just be mindful of that. And when you become mindful of that, you start looking at people differently, and you see their beauty and their light that they bring into the world. Because we all have that within us, even the most horrible of horrible people, or how we think they are horrible. Even the people who have done horrific things. Let me just rephrase that. Even people who have done horrific things. I've done things in my life that I am not, um, that I will never do again. But the one thing, and I'll just touch on regret just a little bit because I want to talk about this later, is regret is worthless. Feeling regret for something to me is, you can be sorry for doing something that you did, but just remember that who you were at the time that you did that certain action. Because sometimes we don't know better. Sometimes we're so wrapped up in our own shit that we do things. But if you learn and grow from those situations, there's no need to have regret. There really isn't. Um, and remember that those situations that you found yourself in where you didn't act the way that you should have acted, um, you can look back at yourself and go, okay, for who I was at that point in time in my life, for the knowledge that I had, I was perfect, whole, and complete. Because we all are perfect, whole, and complete every single minute of every single day. Um, let's see. You start noticing, like, Mother Nature plays a big part. Mother Gaia, however you want to refer to it as. Um, you will start seeing the connections between Mother Earth and the things that happen in your life. Let's see. You will start to feel and notice the connections between everything, as in, I'll give you an example. After I was, okay, some of you know about the angel gathering that I went to, and I am hoping to have a guest on later. I don't know when, but I'm hoping to have a guest on later to talk about the Angel of Light gathering, or the Children of Light gathering. Anyway, so I noticed after I was gathered that there was no separation, none whatsoever. Just like I talked about before, the energy between everything, um, we are all connected in one shape. We just all are connected. After I was gathered, I took a road trip by myself, and I went up to Montana to visit my girlfriend because I hadn't seen her for about 10 years, her and her husband. And I noticed on that, I think it's I-90, I was coming out of Butte, going towards Billings. And I wish I could remember the name of that college town. It starts with G, I think, but anyway. So I'm traveling, I'm just driving through and I'm listening to my music, whatever. And I noticed that the mountains on the north, they were up close and personal. And it was like they were moving with me. Their energy was inside of me. And it's really hard to explain. But even though the mountain was at least 10 miles away, 10 miles away, it was right here. It was right here. I had this connection to this mountain, and I had a connection, and my connection has not broken since then. Um, I was in Joliet, where she lived at the time, and she had a cabin. They had a cabin up in kind of a mountainous area, but it was kind of like I don't know, kind of a subdivision, but everybody had their own property, and they were at least, oh, I don't know. I mean, they had neighbors across the street. But anyway, it was just a beautiful place. And so every morning I was able to go out on the front porch and watch the sunrise. And I was blessed with seeing the deer walk through the yard. And it was magnificent. That's the only way I can describe it. It was magnificent because I was able to connect with the deer. The deer actually stopped. And they were probably, I don't know, maybe 3 feet, 5 feet away from me. And there was a herd of them. And they just stopped and stared at me. Like they felt the connection too. I was able to stand up and take a picture of them, and they didn't go anywhere. Now I know that they're probably used to being around people because people, it was not real populated, but there are people around. But to have those deer stop and stare at me directly into my eyes, that was like boom. That was just so you will start to experience those types of that energies, I guess. Let's see. Another thing is that your ego gets out of your ego just your ego is always there to keep you from doing things that you shouldn't do. Like don't put your hand on the hot burner type things. That's your ego helping you along. But when it comes to your spiritual awakening, your ego doesn't really have a part in that. Um, so one of the other things that you'll notice too is that there's positive energy, and you'll be able to feel that positive energy, and it'll just flow. It'll flow through you to other people. I know I'm probably not being really clear and concise for some people. So um, one of the other things is you will have a high level of empathy for other people and for yourself. Um, when you open up your heart, and you're able to forgive yourself, and that's basically where it starts, is forgiving yourself for the things that you've done, like I was talking about before, the things that you've done before. You know, it, they're lessons that we have to learn. And those lessons are to teach us how to be a better person. Don't live in that story. You don't have to live in that story. Um, you're able to just allow yourself to just be. You connect yourself, you connect with your authentic self, who you are. And yes, I will say I am retired. I live a very peaceful life. And I'm almost 59. So yeah, I'm older. And so some of those things just naturally come when you get older. Um, but when you are able to open up your heart and forgive yourself and open your heart up towards other people, doesn't mean you have to be around people who don't fit your energy, but you can just have love and compassion for other people. And it comes along with a gentleness. Excuse me, I have to get some water. I've had that crud, that, not the one that should not be named, but the other, just your basic spring virus. I mean, it's just hung on for a long time. Um, oh, and one of the other things about the being connected to everything, your energy will vibrate with other people. Your energy will start vibrating at a higher frequency. And you'll be able to feel the difference in your body, physically feel it in your body. Let's see, you get a high level of self-awareness. You don't get caught up in judgments or attachments. You realize that you are way more than the way you look. You are way more than your position at work or your position in any area. You and so is everyone else. Everyone is on an equal basis, wherever they're at in their life, and wherever you're at in your life. Everyone is equal. We are all children of a higher being. We're all children of God. So and you will let go of your social conditioning and your limiting beliefs of yourself. And you'll realize that you are not your emotions, and you are, or your thoughts. We live in the 3D. We are a human. And so some days you might wake up and you're just grumpy and you don't even know why you're grumpy. You still have those aspects of you, but the difference is that you don't have to buy into that. So if you wake up grumpy, your thought processes can change to, I don't want to be grumpy. I want to be happy today. So you become happy. I mean, and it's like, it's just instant. You can do that. That's just because we are all really, really powerful. So let's see. Being in the present moment at all times. Like I was saying earlier, I had one foot in the past and one foot in the future, and it wasn't allowing me to live in my present moment. And it was very difficult for me because I'd been living in my present moment, and then all of a sudden this stuff comes up, and I'm like, what the hell? Oh, I thought I'd taken care of this. But living in the moment is where our power is. It brings about gratitude for everything in your life. And you have more clarity and focus of what's really important. Let's see. So the more that you feel aligned with yourself, the more and the more you live your authentic self of who you really are, then, which is a blessing. um and this story kind of goes along, and I think I've shared this story before about the mirror. I would go to my parents' house, and my mom's mirror, I would look in her mirror and I would go, holy crap, I look good in this mirror. And I don't mean it egotistically, because I didn't have makeup on, my hair was all yucky, and I really didn't look all the greatest. But when I looked at myself in my mom's mirror, I was beautiful. And the thing is, I was beautiful because that's how my parents saw me, and they saw us kids as beautiful. And so I would always tease her, "You got the enchanted mirror. This is so cool." And I would really love to go look at myself in her mirror, because that's the way my mom saw me. My parents saw me that way. And to be able to look into my mirror now and see that reflection of me the same way that I saw that reflection of me in my mom's mirror, holy cow. It's a it When you start living your authentic self, being who you are, living your own story, that's when it happens. That is when it happens. Um, you are more than what you even realize. You have so much inner power within yourself. You become more aligned to what feels right to you, um, because you are the driver. I think I posted something about, if everything is energy and vibration, then you are the DJ of your destiny, because you are. Um, so that's what it means to be spiritually awakened. Now, one of the reasons why we created this channel is to help you navigate towards that. Because I can sit here and I can say all the things that I want to say, but it might not help you, because at this point in time, because you might be struggling with an issue or a situation that came up in your life. I will be honest with you. To get to this point, sometimes you have to go through a lot of dark. I hate using that word, dark. You have to go through a lot of shit. But please believe me, and please trust the words. When you come out the other side, it is all worth it. I tell you, it is all worth every single experience that you've ever had, because there's nothing better than being able to look at yourself in the mirror and like who you see. And it's really, really hard sometimes to see that. And that's really all I want for you guys, is to be able to look in the mirror and just really like what you see. Um, I just don't know how to explain it. It's just, you know, all of the situation, all learning experiences, and that's what they are. They're learning experiences only. They don't define who you are. You may have done something really horrific, but it's not who you are. You are divine. You are a child of God. And he only wants us to be happy. And the way to be happy is to get to know and love yourself. And that's so much what I wish for each and every one of you. And like I said before, I do love you. Even if I don't know you very well, please know that I do honor you and I do love you for being who you are. So with that being said, and because I'm a crybaby, I'm going to go, and then hopefully I'll be able to get into other things to help you navigate, um, or at least lead you to um, people or modalities or something that will help you navigate through these tough periods, because we all go through them. It's just a process of life, and it doesn't define who you are. Trust me in that. It doesn't define who you are, because you are perfect, whole, and complete. And I honor you and I love you very, very much. And I'm trying to stop the video. Sorry.